Matt Yoshi, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
You saw
Yeah,
it three
yeah, yeah. I
times.
watched it.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched it once just like as a fan, and then I watched it more like as a comedian, and then I
Mhm.
watched it just to like catch all the other stuff like
Yeah.
attached to it because I am a fan of her first special. I really, really like her first special. And I like her joke writing.
Yeah, she's
So
very
yeah,
sharp.
I'm very, very sharp joke writer. I
Yes.
think, yeah, 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 very just solid joke writer. So yeah, I liked it overall.
Very nice. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed just how personal it was. That was definitely
Yeah.
something that stuck out to me. Before we get into like the math of it, is just how personal it was and how she went to
Mhm.
those
100%.
dark places, like talking about her mental health and therapy and panic attacks and being bipolar and emotional eater and her mom
Yep.
dying and like she tackles a lot of topics. And I think
Mhm.
the big thing, and this is something I think during our last live stream, Yoshi was like, you should go watch Ali Wong's new special.
That one's crazy.
And it and it opens with like just body fluids on my
Mhm.
face, blah, 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 blah. Like, so she's doing, and hey, you do you. Any
Yep.
comic out there, you do what you find funny. I'm not saying what Ali
Yeah,
did is not funny or
yeah,
wrong. I'm just saying it was a sex joke done in one way, and then Taylor's able to do sex jokes in another way that there's still sex jokes, but they're not as explicit and like just graphic, but they still
Right.
get the point across,
yeah.
which I just
Across, yeah.
appreciate the finesse of that joke
Yep.
writing style. But it was funny to watch Ali's and then this
For
one
sure.
and see the contrast of like topics and how they were executed.
Yeah.
And
Did you
with
get
Ali,
through
she was
Ali?
very
You didn't get through.
descriptive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
through Ali's, Joel?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get through
Did you
it.
get through his? Yeah. Okay. And that's on me. I told Joe, I was like, Joe, my bad. I thought you've seen an Ali Wong special before, which is why I suggested it. And if you've never seen an Ali Wong special, this one is not the one to start with. Like for sure.
No.
Like it is the wrong one to start with. Like you gotta cleanse your palate with the first one, like which I think is Baby Cobra. And then the second one is I like that one too. And then the third one, I mean, I've liked all her specials, but yeah, I think I love the fact that Taylor took this special. It felt very, very personal, but also
Mhm.
like very introspective. Like there was
Yep.
just a lot of like, not only are you talking about the personal stuff, but you're also like challenging yourself. So it's very like self-deprecating while also getting into your own stuff about like why you are the way that you are. And
Yep.
honestly, it felt like a therapy session, to be honest with you. That's how
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of took it. Like it was almost like we were in her therapy session of the things that she was struggling with throughout the
Yep.
entire special. And I enjoyed that because to your point, you don't see that a lot. There's not a lot of like people putting that out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it reminded me also of like Matt Rife. I don't know if y'all have seen his special on YouTube yet, but like he's like a super attractive dude. And he's talking about having anxiety and depression and all of this. So it's interesting, like seeing someone like Taylor, you see them as one way just based on how they look, but then the complexity behind that is what I love about comedians in general, is that we're never what we seem. And there's always some hidden emotional something. I mean, I don't want to get like too dramatic about it, but it's just fun to see like,
Yeah.
Taylor could easily be like, oh, dating is hard. Aren't I cute? And like, same thing with Matt Rife. He could be like, I look like Hercules. Like, laugh at me. But like, they use comedy as a way to get into those dark places, which is what we always challenge and encourage comics to do. It's easier said than done, but to see it executed at a level like Taylor, I think it really makes it like attainable and gives a living, breathing example of like, oh, here's how we can talk about these dark things in a very like, palatable way.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I want to hear the breakdown from Chris.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we cut off Chris there. I just want to get into like the overall, just her going there with it.
Okay, so she was on stage for 59 minutes and got 427 laughs. And so she was getting 7 laughs a minute, which breaks it down to a laugh every 8 seconds.
For 59 minutes, you said?
59, yep.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. That's solid.
Yeah.
Very solid. Yeah.
Yep.
With those, I just it's like last week we talked about earthquake.
We can go there if you want, Joel.
No, I'm not going anywhere. You know what was interesting? I'm not going anywhere negative, but what was interesting is
No.
Don't go there?
No. What I was saying was if we were to like put it into perspective with Earthquake Special, he would have gotten 668 laughs had it been 59 minutes.
At that pace, yeah.
At that pace.
Yeah.
And like you said last week, Legendary is 7 to 10 laughs per minute. For an hour?
11.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, even Taylor's special, doing that pace for an hour is no joke. Sure. That is high level.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
High level, high energy.
And like I said last week, 6 to 7 laughs a minute, you're a legend. And she was at that 7 laughs a minute every single time.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. One of my favorite things in comparing it to the Earthquake special, I thought Earthquake in his special has a section about these damn kids ain't the way that they used to be. I felt like he was talking about Taylor Tomlinson. Like, I know that's like just straight up, like these are the kids that aren't the same. Like, and I know he's talking about his kids, but like everything that he talked about, like in that, like kids are not that they're sensitive, but like I lock a kid in the room, he's going to write a suicide note. They can't take it. Like it was just like, so in watching that special, then watching this, it's almost like it's a generational thing. It's almost like Taylor is the kid that Earthquake was talking about.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, and then you talk about Matt Rife. I feel like even comics today, it's hard to talk about stuff that's not even mental health because so many kids are going through it. I don't even want to say kids. I've been through it. So like so many people are going through it just as a topic of conversation. So it was just interesting to watch like a legend talk about his kids and then almost like someone who represents his kids.
But even generationally though, it's like, I do feel like Taylor, and I think is she 30 yet? I don't know.
Not maybe 30 yet.
Late 20s.
Not 30
but I mean,
it's
a younger generation that is talking more about mental health and whatnot. And like Earthquake's generation is more of just like, suck it up, tough it out, put some dirt on it, so it is interesting to see all these different perspectives about the same topic. But she goes there. I mean, talking about being bipolar, talking about your mom dying, talking about being bipolar. I mean,
it was a good example to comedians that a lot of comedians like to use the stage as therapy, but she took this and flipped it into something funny, but you could tell she worked it out before she got on stage and didn't use the stage to work it out. That makes sense.
That came up in my Q&A last week. You can say whatever you want. It's got to be funny. It's got to be funny. So go up there, confess your life struggles, but there's got to be a punchline. So despite 100%. Taylor saying all these things, all these different antidepressants and all these different things she's going through, there were punchlines throughout it. Every 8 seconds, there was a punchline to reinforce the topic she's talking about. So yes, it's aspirational to do material like Taylor is doing, but also have the context of understanding joke writing and making sure you can make funny jokes out of mundane things and then use that skill set to build upon. Oh, hey, by the way, I'm bipolar. And by the way, I get night terrors. And by the way, this is, me and my mom and dad's relationship and stepmom and all these things. It's
Right.
one bite at a time, but Taylor's on all
And this
cylinders with this one.
Yeah.
stood out to me was the amount of like comparisons that she did. So with the night terror, she was like, I am now on medication. That's like, and then she would add, and she did that a lot, but it
Mm-hmm.
painted the picture of like, you this is how bad it is, but to put it into a funny
Yeah.
perspective, here's
Yep.
where I think it should go. And it was very smart. It was a smart
Yeah. Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it.
She had
It was very smart. One of my favorite things. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it. Let her rip there.
I was going to say one of my favorite things that she did that I think is just unique is I love it when a very super confident comedian tells you, "Hey, we're about to get into 8 minutes of dead mom jokes,
Yeah.
but don't worry, it's going to be great." And just the level of confidence to tell an audience, this is going to be uncomfortable, but I've already been through this, so this should actually be okay for you guys. I enjoyed watching her set that up and then knock it down with jokes all the way through. That was
Yep.
super enjoyable just to set up the audience for that. It was almost like a okey doke, but it
Yep.
was honest. Yo, we're going to talk about this topic for a little while.
Yep.
And you're going to let me talk about it, but I promise you it's going to be funny. I enjoyed just that level of confidence.
Yeah.
There were several times that she kind of stepped on the laugh, but
Mhm.
came back and it doubled the laughter volume. That makes sense. Like it was a small punch.
Yeah.
They giggled, but she
Yep.
went right into it, and then it just got a eruption. And the
I think
the
you could tell.
the other thing that stood out to me was that this was more like an arena type versus Earthquakes was more like a club type.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you could tell
Yeah.
that the laughs were coming, but she paused a little longer to get the laughs to her, whereas Earthquakes
For
was
sure.
just bang, 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 bang. They were just laughing the whole time. And
Yeah, yeah. It definitely felt more
something
intimate.
that's something that you gain with experience waiting for the laughter. But yeah, I noticed that right away. I also noticed how she uses her facial expressions a lot to get the laugh
Mm.
and to sell the joke. And I got that
Smiling.
from
She smiles a lot.
from
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis. That's what he did a lot in his
Yeah.
movies.
What, using his face, you're saying?
Yeah, the Bellhop, I think was the name of the movie, the doorman.
Uh-huh.
He didn't talk for the first 45 minutes. It was all facial expressions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he sold the whole fucking movie. It's crazy.
Whoa.
That's wild.
So she did do a good job of physicalizing what she's talking about also. And I think smiling while talking about tough topics is kind of the sugar that helps the medicine go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. She did a lot of what I call like fourth wall breakage of just
100%.
telling people what she broke the fourth wall a lot and then went back into the joke structure. Very kind of like the mom thing about I'm about to tell a whole bunch of mom jokes. Get ready kind of thing. She did that a couple of times throughout the set. And it felt like, I think for me, it felt like she was also bringing people into the world of comedy a little bit of just hey, this is what's going to happen. And I'm going to show you what I'm about to do. And I enjoyed watching that part because she's never done that on any of her specials. She's been super professional, no breakage, just straight up jokes. And to your point, Chris, when something didn't land or it didn't land in the way that she wanted it, she actually was affected by it and did something about it. So when the audience got uncomfortable, she recognized it rather than because in a stadium like that, I mean, in a large setting like that, you could just keep going with your jokes. but she like stopped and acknowledged, oh yeah, this is uncomfortable for you guys, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to take you on this ride either way. So I like that.
Yeah, there was something that she said too that stood out. She said, "I don't ever use I don't ever use the stage for therapy." And then she looked at the crowd and said, "Unless I'm being paid for it."
Yeah.
And that to me, it made
Yes.
me laugh because it was such a real statement that she was doing that. But I like that part where she talked about her mom dying, and then like said, "I'm gonna do 6 minutes of dead mom jokes. Be ready." And so she did the six
Yep.
minutes, and then kind of like went into a new joke, and then brought her mom up again and said, "Told you I'd bring her back up," and it was like breaking that fourth wall down again. It was funny.
Yeah, she did several callbacks as
Yeah.
well. I mean, it was clearly a well thought out, yeah, like arc of a special. You know, I
Oh
mean, she
yeah, yeah,
really,
she was on top of her game there.
yeah, on all
On top.
cylinders.
On
Yeah.
top. Yeah.
It,
Yeah. And
it's
I like,
no,
sorry,
you
go ahead.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead,
No,
John.
you're good.
I was gonna say I love every angle that she touched on, like my relationship, my father, my mother, my sex life. Like she touched on a lot of personal stuff, my breakups, why my breakups have been terrible. So like, you know, as someone who's in therapy, it felt like a therapy session. Like I
Hmm.
was just like, yo, this is kind of the stuff that like, oh, do you see a pattern here? And then you're like, oh, okay, I guess it's just me. And then like, but she's joking about all these things. So as a person in therapy, I found it to be very like what's the word? Accommodating. I was like, oh, that is how therapy is. Like it
Yep.
was just very much like a therapy session in terms of like all the breakdowns that she did with her own
Yeah, like
stories around it.
the detective using the red
The
yarn
red
to
yarn,
pinpoint. Oh my god,
yeah,
it's great.
great way to
Yeah,
break
I think
down therapy and very visual also.
Yep,
very
100%.
visual. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my big takeaway is just how personal it is. You know, I always try to keep pushing to get more personal, but it's hard and it's scary, you know. So to see someone like talking about being an emotional eater and being bipolar and your mom dying, it
Mhm.
really it's inspiring to keep moving in that direction. You know, she's doing at a very high level, and it's just it's scary to go there, but she does it so effortlessly, seemingly, that it makes it
Mhm.
feel more attainable, which was like the biggest inspiring thing I took away from it.
Yeah,
For sure.
so as a veteran with PTSD, I have yet to touch on my military service in comedy. Like that like
Mm.
I can talk about my kids, my wife, the military stuff. I did 14 years in the Air Force. I have yet to talk about it. And it's
Is that
just
by choice?
it was such a serious moment in my life
Yeah,
that I have yet to really find funny aspects of it that I could bring it to the stage.
for
I've
sure.
gone to therapy and all that
Yeah.
other stuff, but it's just it's hard to like really put yourself out there because it's such a real moment. And if they don't react the
Yep.
way you want them to, how am I going to react?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
point.
Yep.
is there like a fear behind that, or in terms of
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about that, or just
because if I'm gonna fully give myself to the audience and they don't receive it, what will it do to me mentally? Will
Mm.
that will that just uh reinforce what I already feel? Will I feel better? Will it take a weight off my shoulders? I haven't even tried it yet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing because there's a lot of people that don't talk about that don't get that personal, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
yeah?
probably a thing that most people have that are just like, yo, I've got this thing, but I'm not gonna just go dive into it. I remember maybe it was Ali Sadiq, who I freaking love, just saw him a couple
Mhm.
weeks ago,
Ugh.
doesn't talk about really like his time in jail. And I think part of it is like there's a separation of, I don't want to put that out there. I think the way,
Yeah.
from what I understand, it's like he doesn't want you to associate him with that part of his life. like, because it happened a long time ago. This is who he is
Mhm.
now. And but in his storytelling, he brings those things and those moments up. Like, I mean, the Puss in Boots joke off of Comedy Central. I said Puss in
Yep.
Boots, Mexican in Boots,
Mhm.
off of Comedy Central was such a visual. Uh,
He's thinking about his last
was
Pornhub
such,
search, is what Yoshi
Yeah,
said.
yeah. That was the wrong special,
was such a
Yoshi.
visual. Yeah, that's on me. I'll put that one out to Netflix. Was such a visual story of like
Yep.
that environment, but it was so funny. But he's so funny just telling stories in general. I always find it interesting that even like people who have been through stuff, or that they've got a certain background, but they talk about
And
everything else but that thing,
that was his biggest story.
Mm-hmm.
His most
right?
views and all
That
of it.
was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
that's a
Oh,
good
Short
point.
Bus Pull-Up said, I learned a lot here today. Thanks. Good.
Yeah.
Well, that is the goal.
So overall, what do you think of it, Chris? What do you think
What
of
was
the
that?
special, Chris?
The
What do you think
special,
overall of the
the
special?
the special was great. Uh, it, I hate when I hear that was great for a female comedian. You know what I mean? Like Taylor Tomlinson is a comedian, 100%, and
For
she
sure.
shows you
She
on this
killed.
stage that she not only kills, she got 7 to 8 applause breaks in an hour, which Earthquake did not do, by the way. Earthquake killed, but he didn't get an applause break. Um, and you
He
could
got
tell
one.
when he did get one. He did get one. But you could
Yeah,
tell
yeah, yeah.
when the material is prepared and ready,
Yeah.
how it comes out. And
Yep.
when you prepare yourself,
For sure.
just the topics that she was touching, I was like, man, she really went there, and I commend her for it. It was
Yeah.
really dope. I liked it a lot.
I am blown away by her writing.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
the cadence, like the level of writing and the details of which like punchlines hit and connections were made. It was
Yep.
just so crafty to watch. Like, but to your point, like tough topic make me feel good about seeing and watching. There was moments I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to like
Yeah.
see the rest of this, but it was funny all the way through. Like when it got to sort of, I think one of my favorite parts is how she talked about other people's reactions
Yep.
to her mental health things. I love that. It was just like, oh, now you're bringing almost a different aspect to this outside of just your reaction to it, which I thought was super dope. Like how her friends react, how ex-boyfriends react, how the
Yeah, because there's
outside world
definitely a
reacts, how the
stigma.
therapist reacts. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a stigma to going to therapy. Even in the minority community, if you go to therapy, you're considered
for
crazy.
sure.
And so a
Yep.
lot of people that need therapy hold back and don't really get the help that they need. I'm an advocate. I can tell you right now, I have my therapist on speed dial, and we talk because I need to process things.
That's awesome. For sure.
Yeah, it's super valuable and important for sure. And
Yep.
I think I've been hearing comics talk about it more at open mics, not to this level, where she takes it from like, here's my mental history, here's my diagnosis, here are my fears after getting the diagnosis, here's the reality after the diagnosis, here's she basically uses it like I'm coming out as bipolar in a lot of ways, talking about to her dad and her friends. It's like she used like a good analogy of like coming out as a way of telling people about it. But she really, a lot of comics are like wanting to make a single bit longer, and a way to do that is through bringing in different points of view, talking about that topic, but on a timeline. What is that topic in the past, the present, and the future, and bringing points of view on it? That can all help add time, which she could have been like, my therapist I figured I was bipolar, and then she was like, oh yeah, you are. She could have just stopped it there, but then she kept adding and building upon it, just adding and building the connection.
Yeah, with the credit cards, and it's all things that people think about. Can she cure me, or is she just here to collect my money?
Yeah.
And it's all aspects of therapy. But I always tell people, if you have not worked it out with a real therapist, do not bring the pain on stage because it's gonna come off different. And you gotta learn how to
Mm,
process it with somebody.
Yeah, and I've
for
tried
sure.
to talk about a few things I've talked about in therapy on stage, but it's missed so far and end up apologizing. It hasn't translated yet, but it is. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing comedy, I think you should be in therapy.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe. I mean, it affects everyone. I mean, I took off stand up for the whole month of February because of like mental health. I was like, yo, I need to like I gotta get me in line before I can like really get back on track with things, you know. And I think it's important for everyone to have that self-awareness and not having embarrassment behind it.
And you do something that's real special, Joel. I don't know if you remember telling me this, but you said you take Sundays off as far as like social media
Yeah. Yeah,
and to be
I'm
with the
very
family. Or is
mindful
it
of the
the weekends?
balance. Well, I
Is
mean,
it the
I
week? I think
definitely
you
don't in the
take the weekends.
mornings. Also, like when I first wake up,
Yeah.
like for the first like at least hour, I'm not on my phone. And I'm very mindful about being more present with like
Yep.
family. If we're like talking, we're like talking. You know,
Yeah.
like my phone isn't in the room, things like that. And mindful even on the weekends of
Yep.
like this is like family time. Like we're gonna be doing things. I'm gonna be I think, and that's something my therapist actually said of because like talking about one thing of like spending time with family, whether it's spouse or extended family or whatever. And she's like, her opinion or her recommendation was like, you don't have to pressure yourself to like figure out how to spend more time, but just make more of the time you spend, making sure that time you do spend with family is higher
It's
quality.
valuable.
You're more present. You're more
Sure.
with them instead of thinking
Mm,
ways because like you know we could always say we want to spend more time with family or whatever, but just making that time more quality will help
Yep.
enhance the overall relationship.
Yeah. It looks like you like therapy so much you turned your office into it.
Well, you look like you're literally reporting from a bunker. Like there's
No, this is
nothing on your walls. There's one
this is
window. You could be in a
this
cell
is
right now.
this is what I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This whole room
Yeah. Chris looks like
empty.
he's like bunkered down in
Yeah,
Ukraine or
yeah.
something. Like, are
I'm
you
definitely in
okay?
Ukraine. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
in a hospital waiting room.
I'm safe, but let's
Yeah.
talk about this special.
I'm s-
Yeah, I hope this
nah.
talk got to other people and help them maybe work through getting into more personal
Yeah.
topics or just take more self-care, mental health.
And that's one thing I wanted people to take away from the special was be your genuine self, whatever that topic is. Uh, there is an aspect that can be funny about it, but bring yourself to the stage. If you look at people that don't have good times on stage, they're not really genuine with themselves. We don't really know who they are on the stage, and so the material doesn't really connect. And I feel like it connected
Mm,
here because she was touching on such real topics. What medication are you guys on?
yeah.
And she had them all screaming out.
Yeah, she brought the audience into it a lot
Yeah.
too.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And
For
that was
sure. Yeah.
that was really dope.
Yeah. I think the big key is it was vulnerability on
Hmm.
stage. She was just super vulnerable on
Yep.
stage and super aware that she's talking about a tough topic. But to your point, she prepared for all of
100%.
the like the ins and outs, and the writing was like phenomenal to talk about all these things and then put punchlines. At the end of the day, the special was funny. Like
Hmm.
Yes.
it had great jokes, like
Yep.
solid jokes all the way throughout. Like 7, 8 laughs a minute is not easy to do on a special. Like that's not
No,
easy
I
to
mean,
like accomplish.
even being on stage, you can feel when you don't when you have that long like pause that you're not getting any laughs, and then you look back at the video
Oh,
that it was
yeah.
only like 30 seconds, but to get every 8 seconds a laugh,
An
that's
hour.
phenomenal.
That's incredible.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and DC Rant said she started opening up about her agoraphobia and claustrophobia with a side scoop of panic attacks. Yeah, and it's all gradual. I mean, I think the example I use is me being born in a trailer was something I was very embarrassed about. And it kind of eased its way into the set. It kind of started out as like me saying I'm from a town where there were trailers, and then I had family that lived in trailers, and then I was born in a trailer because that was the hospital. And then like I just kind of eased into then just saying it, you know? So it's also for people wanting to talk about more difficult topics that like easing into it, not being like, I just need to come out and just say it. Like, you know, play around with the idea and just kind of poke around at it, be a little silly about it before you actually just hit it right on the head. Because it took me a few months to actually just be like, I was born in a trailer. I'm sorry. Like it just took a long time to get there, you know? So it's scary and uncomfortable, but that's where a lot of the best humor is.
Yeah, and it's also the perspective, because I do jokes about being raised in the ghetto, and my mom will call me and say, "You were not raised in the ghetto." And I was like, "Well, we have different points of view."
Hilarious. Well,
yeah, that's a good perspective.
Yeah,
I feel good about that review there.
Yeah, and one thing, if we were going to continue this, I never want to down a comedian for their special, because it takes time, it takes work, and ultimately they're getting up there and speaking their truth. Taylor Tomlinson, she did it at a phenomenal level, and the topics that she was talking about, it was so so personal. You have to commend her for it. It was a great special.
Yeah. My favorite part is simply the fact that you felt comfortable after you watched it. You're like, oh, if somebody like, and as a comedian, I think what I also liked about it is just like it kind of gave you hope that like you can talk about these tough topics. Like, because there's not a lot of specials out there where people are talking about their mental health, and definitely not one where people are talking about their mental health, talking about their mom dying, talking about all this personal stuff. And I think that's the kind of stuff that like it gives you sort of a little bit of license to be like, it's okay to talk about that stuff on stage. I just seen that Maria Bamford. I think Steve might have shown
I gotta
it.
watch that. Yeah.
And
I haven't seen it yet. On Corden, I think, right?
It's on Corden. Oh my! It's 4.5 minutes of her talking about her dead mom, and it's hilarious. Like it's just hilarious, and it's so good. And
she's a beast too.
And you know, and she's a beast, right? But to your point, like I love the fact that someone up and coming is talking about such heavy topics, because that's usually what you expect from like somebody who's legendary, who then also brings this different flavor. But for someone to be like, you know, I'm just going to talk about these things that I'm going through, and to make it like super personal is dope. Yeah.
I mean, even developing the eating disorder because she found out that her mom died while she was eating a bagel, and I'm like, golly.
Getting to the root of it, dude. Yeah, that was
intense. To the root.
She got to like, this is where I started my emotional eating. I was like, oh my God. And it was funny.
Was great. Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that, Chris, because that is like comics, like this whole thing is comics helping comics, you know, and being positive and supportive. And any sort of review we do or whatever, I want to make sure, that spirit is always there, that we're not by any means trying to say this special was better than that special, or so-and-so could have done this better. It's like, it's really like comics just liking to uplift other comedians. So I 100% agree with that intention of everything we do here, is to just uplift others.
Yeah, you'll never get me on here to say that special sucked, because I mean, you'll know it sucked because I didn't show up.
Well, next week we're watching Joel Byers' The Trophy Husband comedy special. So,
Yeah, my kids will have the flu next week.
speaking of uplift,
No, you know
DC
what?
Ranch just gave us a super chat.
All right.
Yay.
Thank you, DC
Uh,
chat rants. $1.99,
that's-
baby.
That not to flex, but you guys have to listen to Joel's special with who was that
Barry Katz.
super Barry Katz, where he broke down
Barry
your
Katz.
special. Holy smokes, man. I mean, he only listened to what, 3 minutes of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I was crying in the back with Joel.
You were crying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
But
and then I was like
just
super
like-
proud because he
Yeah.
gave me some props. But it was great. I was just like, but that, as uncomfortable as you felt, I felt
Yeah.
it too as an audience member. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is uncomfortable.
But it was
in a
great
good
because
way.
it was like,
just like,
yeah, it was like, okay, you had great stuff here, but let's talk about the set. Let's talk about the lighting. And it was like the whole aspect of the special.
Yeah.
And it made me look at specials different. Our Earthquakes special was great. It was indoors in a closed club-like atmosphere, whereas hers was more of a stadium, and you could tell the difference between the laughs and the laughs traveling. It was great. That Barry Katz interview, if you guys have not heard it, go listen to it.
Yeah, it's gold. Yeah. If you want to see Joe cry without him crying outside of his wedding, you got to go listen to that.
That was also at like midnight. Like we did the interview after he like got off work, so it didn't start till like 9 o'clock, like Eastern Standard or West Coast time. So I think the interview started at like 11, and by the time we got to the special, it was about midnight. So it was late, and it was awesome. I'm grateful for it.
I had interviewed Rodney Perry, and it was the week before, 3 weeks before I was going to Chocolate Sundays. And after the interview, he's like, "Hey, man, we got some time. Give me your 3 minutes," like on the spot.
Wow.
And so we weren't recording or anything, so I gave him the 3 minutes. He goes, "All right, man, good luck." He didn't have any real feedback. I was like, "Ooh, that shit hurt."
Like, this kid's a lost cause.
Yeah, no. He's like, you have a good joke here. Bring up your energy. All right. Let me know when the special comes out. I'm like, God damn, that was rough.
Ooh. But what isn't rough? Albert Taylor just hit us with a $5 super chat. Yo, my wife is gonna be so lit. Look, honey, flower money.
Flower money.
Oh, Andy just got the 5 Steps to Funny workshop. That's awesome, man. Awesome. Yay. So happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm super proud of that workshop. That's definitely a workshop I wish I had when I started. So yeah, let me know how you like that there, Albert, because I'm super excited about that. Sorry, I was getting a link to where if anyone else was interested, I can link to where we have other classes and workshops just for anyone interested in checking those resources out. But welcome aboard, Albert. That's exciting. Woo! And this was good. We got deep. I did not expect it to go that way, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
me too. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out and breaking down another set with us there, Chris. You nailed it, my friend.
Yep. Let me know which one you want to see next.
Oh yeah, what's popping?
We can break down Ali Wong's set if you want. If you can sit through the whole thing.
Which one?
I think
Ali
I think the only way you can do it, Joel, is you have to watch it all 3.
Yeah.
Because you can't just ease into the third one. Because her style, you have to know her style and know like it's not because the third one is kind of like Taylor going into like her mental things.
Mm-hmm.
Ali Wong gets more graphical, more detailed, more like
Yep.
raw in each special.
Gotcha.
Like, so
Yep.
like it's a ride. Like it's not a just you can't start at the top floor with the Ali
Is
Wong
she
special.
pregnant in the first two?
First two, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
the
she's pregnant
second
in
one,
the
she's
first
like
two.
8 or 9 months.
Yeah, oh, both of them. She's pretty out
she's-
there. Yeah. Yeah.
And
They're
I
both
think that's
incredible.
one thing that Tom Segura had said. Like they had run into Ali Wong into like some city, and they're like, she's intense, man. Her hustle is intense. She does it
Yes.
all, and then goes on stage 9 months pregnant, shoots a special,
Yep.
has the baby.
Yep.
6 weeks later, is back out there. I'm like,
Wow.
golly, man. And Tom
Yeah.
Segura hustles. For him to say that
Yep.
she's out hustling him, that's crazy.
Yeah. There's been a lot of people that have talked that way about Ali Wong. Just about the hustle, but also but when you see them specials, it's work.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's work.
Yeah, you could tell she puts that work in.
Well, let's do hers next then, I guess, and then I'll watch all three.
All right.
For context, what do y'all think?
Let's do it.
Yes. Yeah,
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, Ali Wong it is.
Next week, or you want to do more time?
So that's three. That means you got to watch 3 specials, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. All right.
And so, but we're only breaking down her latest one.
Right.
Yeah, we're only breaking down Don Wong.
I just need to watch the others just for context, apparently.
Yeah, there's a part where she says that male comedians sleep with groupies. They're called chuckle fuckers. And I'm like, my wife did not need to hear that part.
Oh, blowing up our spot.
Yeah, I was like, that is not me. We have to stop the special. That is not me.
Nah, honey. Nah. These women move fast, not the men. This ain't the men, you know.
It wasn't me.
Oh yeah, well, should we do it next?
Wasn't me, like Shaggy said.
Next Tuesday then? Do Ali Wong's new special?
Let's do it.
Chris O'Connor said Baby Cobra's the strongest of the 3. Woo!
Baby Cobra is solid.
It's
Baby
a
Cobra
good,
is solid.
good special.
It's a good special.
Good special. I know that she charges a grip. My wife was gonna go see her, and she was charging $85 for like nosebleed
exposure, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You paying for that exposure, baby.
Mm-hmm.
She got 3 specials on Netflix. She's got a movie out. She's a producer.
Yep.
She's a writer on TV. Yeah, you pay for them credits.
Dang, fam.
You ain't gonna be seeing Ali Wong at no open mic anytime soon. Not in a city near you.
Oh, dude, I did an open mic this weekend and got introduced as an Atlanta comedy legend. And I was like, no. He said legend like 3 times. I was like, bruh, I am no. But
so,
then,
what do you feel about an introduction like that at an open mic?
I mean, he's an open micer who's like a fan of the pod, and like I mean, I've done that for other comics. Like when I was newer and there's like a more experienced like comic who's been in the scene and done things, like I've introduced people as legends and OGs and all of this.
Yeah.
So, but to like hear it said at an open mic at an Irish pub with 4 people, it was just like an empty showroom and then a few people sitting in the booths on the edge and then the comics in the back. So you're standing in the corner of the room. It's totally empty. And then a few people in booths, not even facing the stage. And then he's like, Atlanta comedy legend, Joel Byers, Sunday night, nothing else to do.
It's pressure, but it's funny because everybody looks. Everybody's like, oh, Joel? Yes.
Yeah. So when I got back from Chocolate Sundays, I did an open mic.
Do you understand that Chris has said Chocolate Sundays 19 times?
Yeah. Did I say Albert Taylor gave us a super chat as well? Did I say that? I did say that.
Can I say something? It'll be another 19 times next week.
We need to watch your set. That's what we need to do.
when I got back,
give you a set review.
yeah, when I got back, the guy introduced me as a guy who shared the stage with Kevin Hart, which did not happen, by the way. He just happened to be there. And this guy made all of LA laugh, so he's gonna make you laugh. And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
hilarious.
God.
Hilarious.
So I guess I'm not trying new stuff tonight.
I will say it's always better to have overhype than underhype, for sure. Like, it's better that someone introduces you as like just the GOAT rather than be like, this guy's new, so give it up for him. like, ugh.
My first open mic ever, the guy goes, this guy's hilarious. I've shared the stage with him a couple times. I was like, P does not know who I am. That's fantastic.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
never shared the stage.
The go-to intro in like the urban rooms has always been like Def Comedy Jam, BET's Comic View, give it up for so-and-so. Like the host just says it for every single comedian. And like most have never been on anything. There's like VH1. There's like listing TV channels. HGTV. This boy been on the Food Network. But I have been on the Weather Channel and have been introduced as That's My Credit. As the weather. You may have seen him on the Weather Channel. They're like, what is happening? The show I did came on like 11 o'clock once in like hotel rooms in Tennessee.
You may see him on YouTube ads. Give it up.
Yeah.
He's definitely on your gifts.
Yeah, let's go.
He's definitely on your gifts.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that yet, but there's something there. I'm going to sell them as NFTs in like 5 years.
Yeah. Are you guys applying to any festivals?
I am. I'm going to start applying. I'm actually working on trying to get like in the next month, trying to get like solid tapes of like long sets, medium-sized sets, and like short sets of just straight up like of me. I mean, of me killing in the sense of like trying to get that nice cadence of like boom, 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 boom. Because as a booker, I'm starting to understand like what videos other bookers react to. And so like I'm trying to like get better around when I shoot and when I'm recording, like it's bookable ready. And that's what I'm trying to do before I apply to festivals like in a month or so.
Yeah, I'm applying in a month to a festival in Colorado over the summer. But I want to have a solid tape. And the problem is that I'm on these shows that are in the middle of the week. And so when I get there, there's like 8 people in the crowd. And so I'm getting them to laugh, but it's not enough people in the room to make the joke pop like I need it to.
I just love he just blamed the audience for his joke not being funny enough.
Yeah, listen.
That was the biggest finesse. Yo, it's a small crowd. It's not loud enough. The joke isn't getting the pop.
They're not smart enough for the joke that I'm writing. That's how
they're not smart enough.
The joke doesn't get enough pop in front of 8 people.
Yeah.
That's on you, dog.
15. At least 15.
Oh,
no, so
that's hilarious.
It was funny because I did a joke and 2 people were getting their checks, and so it cut half of the crowd out. So it was rough.
No, that check drop is no joke. But I had to give you a little that it was the audience's fault.
Yeah.
They're not laughing louder.
Yeah, it's their fault, not mine. I write well.
Dude, you were on Chocolate Sundays.
Hey, I don't know if you know this.
For sure.
You did Chocolate Sundays.
I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
But I'm going back.
Yeah, but that's the key. You have to use the credit when you see it.
Yep.
Use that credit.
Nice. All right.
Next week we'll do Ali Wong.
We'll do Ali Wong next week. I'm with it.
All right.
Cool beans.
Doing joke feedback, Joel?
Yeah, let's see if we got any jokes in here. Chris, we appreciate you, my friend. We'll see you next week.
Yep, I will be here.
Ali Wong special. Chris Grulon, where can people...
I'll make sure not to mention Chocolate Sundays next week.
Ah, hilarious. That'll be the laughs per minute we count with Chris, except it's not laughs per minute. It's chocolate sundaes per sentence.
How many chocolate sundaes did he mention?
It'll look like this. Look.
Oh, hilarious. 7 laughs per minute. Dude, these would be interesting, like, blogs or something. Breaking down the set, you know? Yeah, we'll just put that on the to-do list. Yeah, that'll be easy. You just make a blog.
I mean, if you look at what happened last week, it just like caught fire, and I was getting tagged by Nate Jackson, who then tagged Earthquake, and then Earthquake tagged the pod. It was dope.
Yeah, Earthquake. It's just.
I couldn't believe it.
It's
That's crazy.
That special is just. It's ruined comedy specials for me.
Yeah.
I think that's where the bar is. I mean, it's like.
Yeah, it's a very high bar.
We're here to uplift everyone, of course, and not say one special is better than the other at all, but like that Earthquake hits different.
That's what I said. It's like Usain Bolt. When you see Usain Bolt in the race, you know you're coming in second. Just how far behind are you?
We're gonna have to grade these on an earthquake scale. It's like 1 out of 5 earthquakes, or like the Richter scale.
Yeah,
11 laughs a minute, man. That is no joke.
Like belly gurgling laughs.
Yeah, and the crazy part was this is Earthquake normally. Like it wasn't like anything anything he hasn't done before.
Everyone in the comments was like, "Oh yeah, we've been known this." Like, yeah, he's been doing this. Those words exactly. Though we've been known this.
Yep.
Girl. You better recognize white boy.
I'll leave you guys to it. We'll meet next week and talk Ali Wong.
My guy. Thanks, Chris.
All right, man. See you guys next week.